yeah, you have all of these hypothetical red lines that you apply to Trump, but the moment you figure out that they've actually happened, all of a sudden that red line is gone. And that is exactly what you're saying explicitly right now. You're like, the only reason you hold child rape as a red line against a presidential candidate such as Trump is because they haven't actually crossed it. Yeah, but let me guess, the moment that he crosses it, you don't give a shit. What is going on, Solus? Did you vote for Trump?
I did.
Why?
His energy.
His energy or like energy policy?
His energy as a
His.
human.
Oh, so like not energy like okay, what about you're just saying his aura?
Yeah, that's actually a good way to put it.
Okay, question. If you had to guess what your IQ is, what would you guess?
I don't think that's relevant. How do you go from why did I vote for Trump to what's my IQ?
What
does that have to do
sir,
with anything?
with all due respect, I bet me and a lot of other people think it is incredibly relevant. If you would mind just answering the question, I think that'd be a great thing to do.
Probably like 140.
Okay.
Funny,
All
right?
right.
Really funny. Next
It
question though, I'd
was.
like the chat. I'd like to. I mean,
It was.
I think his energy is super amazing.
Okay, what specifically about it made you want to vote for him?
I think it says something extremely specific. His energy is extremely specific.
Okay. Would you say that all
Yeah.
grapists have bad energy?
All grapists have bad energy.
Yeah.
That's an interesting question. I think that at the time, if a heinous act is committed, you could say that that person had bad energy. But I believe personally that people can change over time.
Okay.
And you know
Even
that's
even if what you just said was true,
okay.
as it would apply to being a grapist, which I disagree with. No, once a grapist, always a grapist, and I will never look at it any differently.
Okay.
It is the case that he's still denied it until this day. And the reason why I say once a grapist, always a grapist, is because of the lack of like good virtue it would require to force yourself upon one another. It just means that like there's something like functionally wrong with the way in which you perceive reality that would allow you to commit such an atrocious action. And I don't think that functionally wrong thing, is something that can be changed.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Okay. Do you have like a study to back that up, or is this a personal belief, or is it?
I think that this is just going to be induced given argumentation. Like, for instance, if I were to like ponder why I wouldn't grape somebody, it's like probably
Mm-hmm.
consideration of morality, right?
Okay.
And I think
Okay.
any
Yeah.
consideration of morality would lead you to the conclusion that grape is wrong and something that you wouldn't do. So if you do grape somebody, it just means that you don't have those moral considerations. Okay. And I
Mm-hmm.
don't really see why one would be incapable of making said moral considerations at one point in their adult life or one point at their life as a whole. But then
So, are you
capable at another
saying that
point.
Trump has raped somebody?
Yes.
Okay.
He was held
Was
to
this
a liable
proven?
court. Yes, in a civil court.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't
So,
understand why
I
you're trying to
personally, I
argue
can tell you
for
what
it.
I think.
Wait, I have a question. If Donald Trump had
Sure.
raped a child in the 90s, would you still voted for him?
A child in the 90s. I mean, I can't answer that question
I
because it's a
can.
hypothetical.
Wait. Ask. Wait. Oh, you can't answer
It's kind of
hypothetical questions.
irrelevant. It didn't
Wait.
happen.
I just want to
So it's
clarify.
like, why would I answer it?
You can't answer hypothetical questions.
I just don't think there's a purpose.
Okay, so then you didn't pass the third grade, right? Because like we
No, I
used
did.
hypothetical questions in third grade in math. Like, oh,
I
if
just
like
don't think
if
it's
you
relevant
just
to the
listen. Now just
conversation.
listen
It
to me.
doesn't.
Well,
You know what I
I'm
mean? It
trying to
didn't
depict
happen.
that. I won't be able to tell you the relevance if you interrupt me like a little boy. But anyways, when they asked the question in third grade, well, why is it relevant for me to ponder on if I produced apples, how many apples would I produce in 5 years, given that I make 3 a year? Okay, well, the relevance in that is to better understand conceptual principles of mathematics that you could better learn and apply elsewhere in life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Yeah.
very similarly, such a hypothetical, if I were to ask you, would you vote for Donald Trump given he raped a child in the 90s, serves
Mm-hmm.
to relevance insofar as a possible contradiction that would
Listen.
exist.
I'm going to
Because you
interrupt you.
said
I,
that
I
you
I have
would
to
vote for
interrupt.
Donald Trump given that
I
he's
have to.
raped an adult woman, but you wouldn't vote for Donald Trump given that he's raped a child. So if you
I'll
would
tell
mind
you
just
why it
answering
doesn't
the
matter,
hypothetical
because
question, that'd be
we
great.
didn't do it, right? And it's been 30 years. And like I said at the very start of this, I believe people can change.
So if he did do
So
it,
this
would you have voted for him?
you're trying to emotionally blackmail me with that question.
No, it's a yes or a no, sir. I don't know why you're trying to manipulate and gaslight me. Just
Okay,
answer my
no.
question, yes or no. Okay, you wouldn't vote for Trump if he raped a child in the 90s. So
Correct.
why would you vote for Trump if he raped an adult in the 90s?
Because I believe people can change.
Well, couldn't a child
And
rapist
if that's
change in your view?
actually what happened,
Why wouldn't you just say the same
changed.
thing if he were to have raped a
Understand?
child?
Mainly because it didn't happen.
Oh, so you admit
If
it.
it did
You
happen-
you spineless individual. You admit it. You admit it. You admit it. This is only a red line you'd hold against Trump because it didn't happen. Oh my God. Thank you so much for admitting it. Finally. Okay? Yeah, you have all of these hypothetical red lines that you apply to Trump, but the moment you figure out that they've actually happened, all of a sudden that red line is gone. And that is exactly what you're saying explicitly right now. You're like, the only reason you hold child rape as a red line against a presidential candidate such as Trump is because they haven't actually crossed it. Yeah, but let me guess, the moment that he crosses it, you don't give a shit. So answer my question. Why would you vote for Trump given that he raped an adult in the 90s, but not given that he raped a child in the 90s? The reason I'm asking this question is because you voted for Trump even though he raped E. Jean Carroll, but apparently you wouldn't have voted for him if E. Jean Carroll was 17. So my question is why?
Well done, Dean. Well done. And you want to know my answer?
Yeah.
The same as why I started when I came in here. Is energy.
Okay, well, assuming that
Let me
he
tell
had
you
the same,
something.
assuming that he
As
had
a
the same,
Trump
no,
supporter-
hold on.
You don't want to hear this. As
No,
a Trump
I
supporter-
don't want to hear it yet. So assuming he had
okay.
the same energy, but he raped a toddler in the 90s, you still would have voted for him.
Sorry, say it again.
So if he raped a child in the 90s, but he had the same energy, would you still have voted for him?
That's a heavy question. That's a deep question.
So, okay, you either answer it, I'm going to kick you. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, the fact that I have to explain this in, like, 4 times. Like, dude, like, this is just ridiculous. Like,
I mean, I
feel
already
like...
answered it, really.
No, you
I
haven't
literally did
answered the
say
question.
it, but-
Because you said that you wouldn't vote for him if he raped a child. Okay, but then when I ask you why you voted for him if he raped an adult, you're just like, his energy. People could change. Okay, well, why would those not be two reasons that you could apply to this alternate worldview in which he was a child rapist? Like, all that I'm asking you is, why is adult rape not wrong enough for you to vote against him, but child rape is? And you're not answering that question. And by the way, the answer to that question has nothing to do with what's true today, like his energy, because we're going to assume that everything that is true today will still be true today, but he's also just going to be a child rapist. And that's the question I want you to answer.
Dean, I get it, Dean. And I'm telling you the truth. It's the energy.
But imagine he still had the same energy, but he's a child rapist. Would you not vote for him?
It wouldn't matter, bro. These people, listen, I'm saying
Answer no. I want a yes or no, or I'm going to kick you. I'm so sorry. You're going to give me a heart attack, and I'm not even trolling.
I got you, bro.
Answer the
No,
question.
I hear
Give me
you,
a
and I
yes or
care
no.
about you.
If he had
I
the
do care
same
about you.
energy, right, and he was a child rapist, would you have voted for him?
You want to know how to defeat this guy? You have to tell people who support him that they are obsessed with his energy. Okay?
What the Answer my question.
As
If
a
he had the
Trump
same
supporter.
energy, if he
Yes.
had the same energy he had today,
Because
but he was a
this is
child
what's
rapist, would you
going
still
on.
voted for him? Answer the goddamn question, you spineless, asshole.
I can't answer the question because it hasn't happened, but I'll say yes.
You can't answer the
If you
question
haven't
because
yet.
it hasn't happened. You're like absolutely, you're a donut. You're a donut. You can't answer questions that haven't happened. You're like, dude, the only thing that separates humans away from non-humans is our ability to abstractly think. It is abstract thought that enables me to understand hypothetical scenarios. The only reason buildings tower in New York City and your car drives, right, and your pants don't fall off your waist, or the function of any amenity in modern society is because of abstract thought of what has not happened. Like, for instance, what do you think the contractors for like a skyscraper in New York had to do when they were trying to determine the tensile strength of the steel used to build the frame? They had to consider things that haven't happened yet, such as how the wind would blow against it, or any pressures from tectonic plates beneath them, how deep the foundation has to be to fight those pressures and to stand strong. So if we were to like accept this unilaterally, that we shouldn't answer things that haven't happened yet, there would be no skyscrapers. Same things with cars, right? We when we're building cars, we have to ensure that the brakes are going to work in any given scenario. We have to consider all of these possibilities. What if it runs out of gas? What if it's running low on oil? You know, what if a piston misfires, right? To try to construct this automobile that can drive safely and accurately for anybody ever. That is all through the deployment of practical hypothetical scenarios to ensure a high quality product. If we accepted this conclusion that we just can't answer things that haven't happened yet, cars wouldn't exist. And I could go all day long with 1,000,000,001 other things too. And if you're just saying, I stand in the absent and rejection of abstract thought, you're an animal. Unmute there, bud.
Oh, sorry, I had snow on my screen. My fault. Yeah, you know, it's very interesting. I gotta say this. Trump has done something that no other human has been able to do. He's been able to
respond to what I said. You have 5 seconds to just start responding to what I just said.
5 seconds, bro.
Yo, your mic is muffled. Your mic is muffled. Your mic is muffled there, bud.
Is it better?
No.
Is it better?
No, bro, we're just gonna kick you.
No.
Come on, bro. Like, why are these people coming up here? Like, seriously, like,